All right, today we're doing a deep dive on something that, on the surface, might seem a little mundane.
But it's so critical. We're talking about the Aurora Multimedia PS0081-1-EU. It's a 24-watt PoE injector.
A bit of a mouthful, that name. But our mission here is really to give you the shortcut, right?
Exactly. To explain not just what it is, but why this one little box is so noteworthy, especially when you get into things like, compliance and cost for professional AV.
Right, so we're talking about a 48-volt DC, 24-watt power over Ethernet injector, specifically built for the European market.
And it's the kind of hardware that, well, you don't notice it until it fails. It's foundational.
So let's just jump into the specs, the basic numbers.
Okay, so output is 48 volts DC, and it's delivering a solid 24 watts of power. That works out to 500 milliamps of output current.
And that 24 watts is kind of the sweet spot, isn't it?
It really is. It's enough to comfortably run most of your Type 1, even Type 2 PoE devices. So think, standard Dante endpoints, maybe a smaller PTZ camera.
It gets the job done without being overkill.
Mm-hmm. But I think the spec that's actually more impressive, or at least more useful, is the input flexibility.
Oh, yeah, the voltage range. It's huge. It goes from 90 all the way up to 254 volts AC.
Which, for an integrator, is just... it's peace of mind. You don't have to worry if the power in a specific region is a little shaky. It'll just handle it.
And it's small, too. For anyone thinking about rack space, we're talking, about 3.5 by 2.5 inches? It's compact.
Very compact. And you have the two standard RJ45 jacks, one for your LAN data, the other for the PoE output.
So we've got a powerful, flexible little unit, but frankly, a lot of injectors can hit those numbers.
Exactly. I mean, hitting those power specs is almost table stakes at this point.
So the real deep dive here, the reason we're talking about this one isn't just the watts, it's the fine print.
It's the business context.
Yeah.
The source material is very explicit that this product is tariff-free.
And in the AV market, where margins can be so tight, that's a massive, massive advantage.
It gives you budget certainty. If you're rolling out a huge multi-site project, you know what that component is going to cost. No surprises down the line.
And that's tied right into the other big one, TAA compliance, the Trade Agreements Act.
Right. And that's the gatekeeper?
A gatekeeper for what, though? We're talking U.S. federal projects here.
Pretty much any U.S. government contract. If you're an integrator bidding on a federal job, the hardware you use has to be TAA compliant. It just immediately weeds out a ton of competition.
So this little box comes pre-qualified for those very regulated supply chains.
Mm-hmm. And you can see that with all the other agency approvals it has listed, FCC, CE, CTICK, UL, GS. It has the full set.
So that really places this injector in a pretty high-stakes environment.
Yeah, you're not using this for your home office. You see it mentioned right alongside Aurora's advanced AV over IP gear.
Like the VPX series, the DXP62 presentation switcher, that kind of stuff.
Exactly. It's powering the edge of those sophisticated networks. Powering devices that are running REX Control, which is their automation platform, or even, those complex beamforming Dante mics.
All of which need that perfectly steady 48-volt DC just to function properly.
And there's one more thing the source has mentioned, which is the support package.
Right. Free lifetime technical support. By phone, chat, text, email, basically any way you can think of to get in touch.
And for an integrator handling a huge installation, that long-term service commitment is actually a key part of the product's value. It's not just about the hardware.
So to kind of bring this all together, what's the big takeaway? We've looked at the specs, the 48 volts, the 24 watts.
But that's not the real story, I think. The key takeaways are all on the logistical side of things.
Yeah, the TAA compliance and that tariff-free status, that's what defines this specific power supply and gives it its place in the professional market.
It's a perfect example of where power and politics meet in a very small component.
Well put.
So that leaves me with a final thought for you to consider. If compliance standards like TAA and tariff status are the determining factor for buying a specific piece of hardware, then how much does geopolitical regulation ultimately end up shaping the final design and feature set of the electronics we all use every day? Even for something as simple as a PoE injector.